Welcome to Mr. Fantastic Maths. In this video, we continue our Year 7 Maths journey following the UK KS3 curriculum. Today's lesson focuses on equivalent fractions. So, on the screen we have two bar models. The first one is split into two parts, with one part shaded and the other one isn't. So the part that is shaded, we will say is 1 out of 2 because there's two parts in total, and half of it is shaded, one out of 2. The second bar model is split into six parts, 3 of which are shaded and 3 are not. So the parts that are not shaded, you can say that 3 out of 6 are not shaded. And if you just visually look at those bar models, you can tell straight away that half of each one is shaded. So therefore, a half is equivalent to 3 over 6. And one of the ways that we can find equivalent fractions without a pictorial diagram is that the numerator and the denominator are multiplied by the same amount. So 1 times 3 is 3, 2 times 3 is also 6. So that's one way of finding equivalent fractions. And just by that, you can tell that equivalent fractions are the opposite of simplifying fractions. To simplify fractions, you divide the numerator and the denominator by the highest common factor or common factors, and this is the opposite. Okay, let's run through an example. Write 3 fractions that are equivalent to 2 over thirds. So I am going to multiply the numerator and denominator by 2 each time. So 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 2 is 6, and that tells me the 2 thirds and 4 sixths are equivalent. And if I do that again, so 4 times 2 will give me 8, and 6 times 2 will give me 12. So therefore, 2 thirds is equivalent to 8 twelfths, and 4 sixths is also equivalent to 8 twelfths. And you can then, you don't have to multiply by 2 each time. You can also multiply by 3. So in this case, 8 times 3 is 24, and 12 times 3 is 36. And again, 2 thirds is also equivalent to 24 over 36. Now, if we could just visually look at this, 2 thirds means that two parts are shaded out of 3, and that represents the original fraction. If I draw the same size model again, and this time split it into 6 equal parts, and 4 of them are shaded, that's what 4 out of 6 means. And you can see that the same amount is shaded from both models. So they both are 2 thirds or 4 sixths. And again, you could draw another model and have split it into 12 equal parts, and 8 of which are shaded. And same thing with 24 out of 36. So to find the missing numbers, we know that these two fractions are equal. So to get from 1 to 4, you must multiply by 4. So you must repeat the same thing to the bottom. So 5 times 4 is 20. Just remember, you don't add to make fractions equivalent. You multiply or divide. That is because the value of the fraction is invariant. Okay, I'd like you to pause the screen and have a go at the following question. Okay, let's go through this. So 3 times 3 is 9. So therefore 9 times 3 will give us 27. So the correct answer is C. Again, pause the screens and have a go at this question. Okay, let's go through the answers. So I'm going to equate each one with 18 over 5. So how do I get from 2 to 18? I multiply by 9. And 5 times 9 is 45. So this fraction is equivalent. These fractions are equivalent. So 2 over 5 is equivalent to 18 over 5. Since in the question we're looking to pick a fraction that is not equivalent to 18 over 45, we're not going to include that. So 12 over 30 is it equivalent to 18 over 45? Now I can see that 12 and 18 are both in the 6 times table. So I'm going to divide 12 by 2. That will give me 6. 13 divided by 2 will give me 15. So 16 over 15. Now, so those two first fractions are equivalent. 16 to 18 is times 3. 6 times 3 is 18. 15 times 3 is 45. So all 3 of these fractions are equivalent. So it cannot be B. C, 6 over 15 is already looked at that in question B. So I know that 6 times 3 is 18. 15 times 3 is 45. So therefore, C is also equivalent. So that only leaves one option, which is D. And D cannot be equivalent then. However, just to make sure, we will equate that to 18 over 45, and just to make sure that it is not equivalent. So 3 times 6 will give me 18. 9 times 3 is 54 and not 45. So therefore, D is not equivalent. So 3/9 is not equivalent to 18 45ths. It's always good to double check. Remember, whatever you multiply the numerator by, that's exactly what you're going to multiply the denominator with. Okay, there cannot be different numbers. So pause the screen now and have a go at these fluency questions. Pause the screen to mark your answers. Pause your screen again and have a go at Fluency 2. Mark your answers, please. Pause the screen and have a go at this challenge question. Dave and Tom are discussing fractions. Is either man correct? 4 times 4 is 16. 5 times 4 is 20. So Dave's fractions are equivalent. 4 times 5 is 20. 5 times 5 is 25 and not 24. So therefore, Tom's fractions are not equivalent. The other way to do it is 24 divided by 5, which gives you 4 with a remainder of 4. And you cannot have a remainder. Pause your screen again and have a go at challenge 2. Okay, so 15 divided by 3 is 5. 15 divided by 4, you have a remainder because 15 divided by 4, 4 only goes into 15 twice, 3 times, sorry, and that's 12. And 4 to 4 is 16, so it is not equivalent. You cannot have a remainder. Since the question is asking us to draw, to use a grid, we know that 3/4 means that there should be 4 equal parts. So I'm just going to shade the squares in groups of 4. So first 4, second 4, third 4, and then I've got 3 squares left over instead of 4. And because I need 4 squares and not 3 squares, therefore 15 is not a multiple of 4 and it is not divisible. So you cannot use, the fraction cannot be written with the denominator 15. Pause the screen and have a go at challenge 3. A fraction simplifies to 4/9. The difference between the numerator and denominator before simplifying is 25. What was the original fraction? Explain your reasoning. So the difference between the numerator and the denominator is 5, which is considerably less. So I'm going to multiply the fraction by a factor of 2 and then find the difference again. So 4 times 2 is 8, 9 times 2 is 18, and the difference between 8 and 18 is 10, which is twice as big as what I had originally, but it is still less than 25. I'm now going to repeat the same step again. So 8 times 2 is equal to 16. 18 times 2 is equal to 36. And the difference between the 16 and 36 is 20. And again, that is still less than 25. I'm now going to repeat the step once more. 16 times 2 is equal to 32. And 36 times 2 is 72. And the difference between these two is now 40. And that's more than what I need. And if you look at this, I've multiplied each time by 2. So therefore, the original fraction has been multiplied by 6 times. So I am going to, and so 4 times is 2 less, and 6 times is 2 big. So I'm going to now multiply the original fraction by 5. So 4 times 5 is equal to 20. 9 times 5 is 45. 45, take away 20, gives me 25. That is the difference that I need between the numerator and denominator. I'd like you to pause the screen again and have a go at the exit ticket. Is the fraction 2 over something equivalent to 16 over 40? 16 divided by 2 is 8. 40 divided by 8 is 5. Is 4/15 equivalent to something over 60? 60 divided by 15 is 4. 4 times 4 is 16. And is 6/11 equivalent to 66 over something? 6 times 11 is 66. So therefore 11 times 11 is 121. Well done for completing today's lesson. If this helped you, like the video, subscribe to Miss Demtastic Maths, and practice the questions to secure your understanding. See you in the next lesson. Bye.